weekly chart here on Apple. It's going to be the first quarter without Mr. Jobs being here any longer. And what I am going to say, we're at about 72.64% on the DS. The rally going into the earnings now was when we were buying down here, it was $354, bam, and 24 pennies, minus right now this weekly high here of 422 even. So minus $422, that equals $67.76 that we have ran in 1 week. The low of this weekly bar, just so y'all know, was 378. This low was where the breakout happened right here. And we took out these weekly tops here with a vengeance. And when we got to this area of the weekly area, this is that first big reversal. 422 it didn't make a new high yet, but the reversal was here. And that was back on 9/18. Not too long ago. And we went down here and we've come back the same distance. So $67.76 down and $67, that's a pretty good round trip. You know, that was a short for a couple of weeks, but then we've come back. The earnings are going to be robust. The guidance is that with the new CEO in play is how he's going to guide the quarter and what things look like worldwide. They did sell Apple off when it first came out with its launch of the phone. There were a lot of people who didn't like it, believe it or not. And that was part of this selling over here. It was on October 4th that they had come out with their release, and there was a lot of people that, hey, I don't really know that they did that much with it, with the phone. And people didn't like it, and they sold it down here. And this was that major base here. Right across here, what used to be resistance became support across these weekly areas. Stock did not want to break. Everybody loves Apple. Rightfully so. It's one of the greatest companies in the U.S., if not one of the finest in the world. The thing about it is what Apple loves to do in after hours, they get the knee jerk, they pop that thing right up there, and on that initial gap, you would hit a sell short. It will drop very quickly, about $3 or $4, and you would exit. The other thing that Apple loves to do at times is that the limit order below the floor, they like to drop it down within milliseconds. And we have lots of live after-hour videos on this company during the earnings season, lots of them on our website there. And a lot of times they'll drop that bid within a millisecond. You won't even see it. But if your limit order is out below the floor, the prices that are given on Tuesday night after the close, because that's when they report, there's a lot of upside to Apple as far as the fundamentals go, but the perception, the Wall Street perception now, is it time to start selling the news? Even though Mr. Jobs did leave a 4-year plan, for 4 years forward-looking for the company to follow. Was very due diligent of Steve to do that. Keep this thing going. My point, MMTs, it's about selling that top gap and buying that lower gap. I will be giving out trade management way above the market. Depending on where this name is trading on Tuesday, I'll give the limit orders way up here to sell short, and I'll give the limit orders to buy here. We'll get the knee-jerk reaction, and then we'll start trading Apple. What we can do is do some call and put strategies as well. It is a very robust move. We've seen what happened with those great blowout earnings on Google. They blew those earnings out. But then Google dropped well off the high. And the people that were in pre-market on Friday morning, Google was up at $604 in pre-market. And it was about selling that gap. Google had already ran And when it got up there in pre-market, that's the time, that following morning, when they're way up there, they're to be sold short. Because they're going to pull back and you're going to get a good debit and then you're going to go long. One way or the other, we're going to clean up on this Apple trade Tuesday night. Weekly chart, very, very bullish. And the old saying is, in bull runs, when you get to a 52-week high, they have a tendency of going higher. But the earnings emotion after the close Tuesday night is going to be everything. And we love to get it on the bottom end, and we also love to take it down up there on that top end, and that's going to be the same thing. Once again, these things have ran going into the earnings. No one says the number's bad. No. It's about selling short once it gets up there. In after hours, the following morning, they gap it up and run it up to those highs. They're going to ring that cash register, and that short is going to pay. Sell the news.